After holing not one but two lengthy putts on the 18th green at Ballyliffin, Russell Knox earned his first ever victory in Europe at the DDF Irish Open. Knox started the final round 6 shots off the lead, but the tournament became a free-for-all when Erik Van Rooyen's 4-shot advantage disappeared before the South African made the turn. At one point there was a 4-way tie for the lead, one that included both Knox and New Zealand's Ryan Fox. But by the time Knox reached the 18th green, Fox was one shot ahead and on the verge of his first career European Tour win. But Knox rolled in a 40-foot birdie putt to close out a 6-under 66 and drive in with Fox at 14 under, then watched as Fox missed a short birdie putt of his own that would have won the tournament outright. Knox then appeared to have an uphill battle in overtime after missing the fairway on the first extra hole, but he quickly turned the tables on Fox by rolling in a nearly identical putt from a long range for birdie on the 18th green. When Fox's effort to match from inside 15 feet lipped out, Knox had his first worldwide win since the 2016 Travelers Championship and became the first Scot to win the Irish Open since Colin Montgomerie in 2001. Prior to this week, his lone European Tour win came when he captured the 2015 WGC HSBC champions in China. The victory caps a recent run of form for Knox, who plays primarily on the PGA Tour and barely missed out on a spot on the 2016 European Ryder Cup team. He had fallen to no. 137 in the world rankings as recently as last month, but his victory comes after a T2 finish last week at the HNA French Open which qualified him for the Open, and he is now expected to crack the top 50 when the new world rankings are published. Article tags, Russell Knox, 2018 DDF Irish Open. Were it not for an early triple bogey during the final round, or a stubborn flagstick on the final green, Jon Rahm may have found a way to successfully defend his title at the Dubai Duty-Free Irish Open. Rahm started the final round 8 shots off the pace, and his chances were all but doomed by a 7 on the par 4 second hole. But with overnight leader Erik Van Rooyen collapsing behind him, Rahm found an extra gear and played his final 16 holes at Ballyliffin in 9 under to post a closing 66. The Spaniard's round was highlighted by a hole-out eagle on the par 4 6th, and Rahm nearly added another on the last hole of the tournament. Needing an eagle to tie the clubhouse lead, Rahm's short wedge rattled off the flagstick but bounced away instead of dropping. The subsequent birdie ended his week at 12 under, which ultimately left him in a tie for 4th and 2 shots out of a playoff between Ryan Fox and Russell Knox. Rahm birdied each of the 2 holes following his triple bogey, and he closed out his round with 4 straight birdies on nose, 15 to 18. It's the second straight top 5 finish for Rahm in a Rolex Series event, as he also tied for 5th last week at the HNA French Open. He's not in the field for next week's Scottish Open at Culzean, meaning Sunday's rally marked his final competitive round before teeing it up at the Open at Carnoustie. Rahm, who finished 4th this year at the Masters, has finished T59 and T44 in his 2 prior Open appearances. Article tags, Jon Rahm, 2018 DDF Irish Open. Leading by 5 points heading into Sunday singles at the Arnold Palmer Cup, the United States dominated the internationals to retain the cup in the first competition that featured both men's and women's college players. The Americans won 38.5 to 21.5 at the Evian Resort in France. Of the 24 singles matches on the final day, the U.S. won 17.5, 2 others. Click here for full scoring results. Arkansas's Alana Uriel earned the clinching point for the U.S., which improved to the 1st of September 12 in the Ryder Cup-style competition. After Uriel's clincher, the Americans won 9 of the remaining 11 matches to blow out their opponents. Article tags, Arnold Palmer Cup, NCAA Golf, NCAA College Golf Oneida, WIS. SEI Young Kim shot an 8 under par 64 in the 3rd round of the Thornberry Creek LPGA Classic on Saturday to tie the LPGA's 54-hole record of 24 under and take a commanding 8-stroke lead. Kim, who had a 63 on Thursday and a 65 on Friday, got rolling with an eagle on number 3 and added 6 birdies. A birdie on no. 16 tied Annika Sorenstam's 24 under at the Mizuno Classic in Japan in 2003. After Kim missed a long birdie putt on the par 3 17th, she hit her tee shot on the 390-yard 18th into the left rough. Her approach was well short of the hole, and her birdie putt missed badly. She made a testy putt to save par. Kim will take aim at Sorenstam's 72-hole record of 27 under par, set at the Standard Register Ping in 2001 in Phoenix. Kim will need a 4 under 68 on Sunday to break that record. Kim said she will not be nervous. "I just want to keep challenging myself and what I can do," she said. "Even if I break it, I'll keep making the challenges higher. That's my goal." Amy Yang is a distant second at 16 under after shooting a 5 under 67. 8 players are within 2 shots of Yang but 10 shots of the record-setting Kim. Bubba Watson scowled and stomped his way around the old white TPC, even after a scolding from his wife, Angie. He was miserable after an opening 68 at the Greenbrier. And he was grumpy after a second-round 66. But for talents as temperamental as Watson, success is never more than a hold putt or good break away. So it was on Saturday that Watson's mood drastically improved, a byproduct no doubt of his 26 putts and a third-round 65 that gave him another chance to bolster his already impressive 2018 resume. Watson enters the final round in a tie for 6, 3 shots back of the winless Kelly Craft and Harold Varner III, who you can bet will be keeping an eye on the lanky left-hander's position on the leaderboard. Watson's quirky personality favors the chaser's role, and that's where he's proven most successful. He's taken 7 of his 11 stroke play titles when he's trailed after 54 holes. That's the most come-from-behind wins on tour since 2010. Just 2 weeks ago at the Travelers Championship, he hunted down Paul Casey with a closing 63. The deficit that day was 6 shots, and he had a host of proven winners ahead of him. That won't be the case Sunday. "These last 2 rounds moved me up," he said, "and now I'm just going to have some help from the other guys, or shoot a really, really low round tomorrow." Full field scores from A Military Tribute at the Greenbrier. A Military Tribute at the Greenbrier. Articles, photos and videos. 2 days later, Watson was still kicking himself for the way he finished his opening round. In perfect conditions, he was cruising along at 4 under before a double bogey left him with a 68. He complained to reporters afterward that his score was terrible, and he was still so sour in the second round that CBS Sports analyst Nick Faldo seemed genuinely concerned about his well-being, asking him in the booth Saturday why he was so down on himself. "It's not that I'm down," Watson said. "I was just down on my score. It was his wife, Angie, who was actually winning," he said, and that likely had to do with the lecture she delivered Thursday night about his sulky attitude. Angie, of course, might be most responsible for Watson's resurgence this year. After a trying season in which Bubba changed his golf ball, lost 20 pounds because of an undisclosed illness and plummeted in the world rankings, Angie helped drag him out of a dark place. No, Bubba will never be a sports psychologist's dream student, but he's won a tour best 3 events this season, including a World Golf Championship, and now has his sights on a victory at his home away from home. Watson has been a homeowner and member at the Greenbrier for the past few years, and he said that a comeback win Sunday would be a dream come true. "It's going to be a big Sunday," he said. "Like the Travelers, I've got to have a big day." And at least now he's talking like he can actually have one. Article tags Bubba Watson, 2018 A Military Tribute at the Greenbrier.